Madagascar's government collapsed. Ain't that very interesting? And nobody's talking about it besides a couple of YouTubers, Saros being one of them. Uh, I just watched a video, of course, and well, it is interesting having to see this happen because Nepal first falls and nobody says a word. Now Madagascar falls, and now nobody's even saying a word about that either. Um, I guess the governments don't want to acknowledge it, or they don't really want to look that deep into it. And I'm gonna be honest, the U.S. already has a history of doing a lot of, shall we say, controversial things. But this isn't about the politics. This is more so about what the people are feeling. As we all know, governments collapsing are nothing new. The French, they're dealing with their own governmental problems, be it because of something to do with farms, or having to do with like land, and all that sort. Be it Nepal with everybody just being very mad because nepo babies want to start flexing on them. Which, I mean, anybody would be mad, especially in this economy. Anybody would be mad about how any of this goes down. And personally, I mean, it, I'd be going down that path too. But and on a serious note, it is interesting having to see this play out from a third person perspective, because it's not something that happens every day. It is interesting when a government collapses or when there's a change in regime. It is usually very chaotic, and it's glossed over, being told that it is a transitional period, because that's what the governments are labeling it. And unfortunately, it is not the case. It is one of those things where, in Cyril's words, they're putting lipstick on what is essentially not just like a tragedy or a disaster. It's, they're basically trying to put a coat of paint over a bump, or over some scratches. My point is that they're trying to paint over stuff that it can't really be painted over. Like, honestly, let's be honest here. Governments have been going in with power grabs as of late, be it the UK, be it the US, be it China, be it whoever. There's been a lot of countries who have been trying to grab up power from the people and give it to only the select few with wealth. And well, it's not ideal. It's not something that everybody wants. It's only what the rich people want, and I'm not gonna defend them for that at all. Honestly, every single person deserves to live. Everybody has the right to make their decisions, but how should I say? They also have a valid reason to be pissed off at the government, its oversights, and how everybody is treated for it. Because I will be honest, this is a sign. This is a sign for a lot of nations. If they really want to keep their power, they should actually listen to the people. Because the people are the reason why that nation exists. Without the people, that nation is nothing. Without the people, it would just be a conglomerate. It would just be a corporation. And even then, it's like, corporations only survive because the consumers or the customers allow them to. The customers or consumers, or however you want to call these people who give their money or give whatever they can to whatever cause, these people are the reason why governments are still around, corporations are still around. I mean, hell, look at Microsoft. Microsoft is still around despite it having countless controversies, despite it having to gobble up Activision and some other companies. And while, as I said, it's not exactly ideal, they are playing the game, and they have done it well off to the point where they own most of the board. And it's just a game of Monopoly, and a lot of people are losing, and only the select few with wealth are winning. And it is unfortunate. But tying it back to Madagascar, it is one of those things where you have to keep a note on the fact that this is a sign that Generation Z and after them aren't going to be taking shit from anybody. Like, this is just me purely laying out the facts. But in Generation Z, or at least even millennials, or prior to that, these two generations and after, they're gonna be the least tolerant of a lot of things that the boomers have tolerated. And while I could toot the horn all the time and talk about this all constantly, I'm not trying to point it out to stroke Gen Z's ego, but I am saying it as a fact that everybody wants to be treated with respect, regardless if you are young or you are old. Respect is the greatest amount of currency that you could ever get. Money, you could always get that at whatever point in your life. You could always get it when you are young, when you are old, but not after you're dead. But you know what you can get after death? Respect. Respect goes a long way. And these governments have lost said respect for the people. And I'm pretty sure that the people are now retaliating with their own version, and they already don't respect the governments. And it is disheartening, but to say the least, I feel like it's deserved. It is deserved. I mean, you keep playing with the people, and you're gonna find out. I mean, FAFL, so screw around and find out. And while, as you could say, like, oh, but the governments, they don't have as much power. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Every single government that has had their show of power out in the global theater has displayed some type or form of power to each and every other nation to make them think that they're a lot more than what they are, because they're basically trying to like make themselves look bigger than what they are, it is very interesting because no governments or news outlets are gonna cover it, and while independent people are gonna cover it, independents aren't gonna get that much coverage from it because, like, well, actually, scratch that. I believe that there will be a lot of independents that will come out with this news and will probably be received, fondly for it. Sorry, but it's not something that the major news outlets are gonna want to cover it, especially in full transparency. It's not in their best interest. There, if we go back to like historic times around the 1920s, 1930s, the government has historically used large legacy media companies to put up a front to, you know, shape the narrative, but it doesn't work like that now. And governments nowadays are starting to catch on, and they're starting to like be like, okay, maybe we could use this to our advantage. But there are a lot of people out there who are very smart who will figure that out and will see right through it. And some governments are way too stubborn to, let that happen. But as I said, tying it back to Madagascar, what does all this have to do with Madagascar and why the uprising or revolution happened? We see the people are very discontent. They do not have water, they do not have food. They, despite them having to export a lot of valuable things, they are pissed because they don't got anything to show for it. Imagine this, you're working 9 to 5 constantly, all day, every day, and only for you to get paid crumbs. You don't get paid in thousands or 100,000s. No, you get paid in crumbs. That to you would be disrespectful, especially if you've been putting your back into it. And these people in Madagascar, they're equally as pissed, because it's like, you've been doing all this and we don't have anything to show for it. Why? And mind you, here's a classical case of leaders not practicing what they preach. Because at the end of the day, the president of Madagascar left. They fled. They literally were like, oh shit, deuces, and decided, man, what a time to build up, honestly. But you have to be honest with yourself. If this could happen to France, Nepal, and now Madagascar, what's stopping this from happening all over the world? Because there have been memes about, overthrow the government? How about I don't pay my taxes? What they gonna do? But jokes aside from that, it is amazing having to see people unify over the death, or not the death really, but the destruction of a government, or at least one's power, and having to rebuild it from scratch. I don't know, there's something satisfying about that, because it's like, you've been holding power for a while and you have decided, maybe I should screw over a lot of people, and only for you to find out all those people in turn wanted to screw you out of the country. But it is funny having to see this. I love it when the people unify. It's not every day that you see people get together for. It is interesting. It's a matter of time before it hits another nation. Who knows? Maybe it'll hit the US. Hopefully. I mean, who knows? I I could be talking out of my ass, but it is funny. It is funny having to see this go down. Got to love everything going on, but yeah, it is with this that I leave you with for now, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh shit, I forgot completely, but after the president left from Madagascar, the military leader, or the leader of the military, decided that they're going to step up as leader. Meanwhile, the leader of Madagascar, Regolina, I'm not gonna pronounce their name correctly on purpose. They don't deserve it. Not because I don't respect them, but because of the matter, like, I just don't know how to, pronounce many words. But that aside, the leader of Madagascar, they refuse to step down. But I'll keep you updated if something major happens over there, or I'll even talk about Nepal. But yeah, I completely forgot about that. I am so sorry, but I'll go. Bye.